Good morning, YouTube. A couple weeks ago, Jake and Al posted a video about this woman who was making a video about truck drivers. And she was so frustrated about what truck drivers do, how they act. And I probably had a different reaction than a lot of people. Because I'm so new to this industry, it's not too long ago, that I was strictly a four-wheeler, and for those of you that are not aware in the trucking industry, a four-wheeler is a person that drives a regular four-wheel car, truck, that sort of thing. So this is a message to four-wheelers from someone that is now in the trucking industry, and the stuff, yes, that I used to do when I drove my car now drives me flipping bananas as a truck driver. I did the stupidest things, and I want to share with you how stupid you're being. Number one, and I was really, really good at this. When there were long lines exiting a ramp, especially if you're familiar with Minneapolis, getting on like 94 East from 394, that exit lane can be backed up for miles. It's one single lane. One goes east 94, one goes west 94, and it's horrific coming off of 394. And I was one of those that would ride along the exit ramp that whole way while cars are lined up and they're doing the right thing, right? I would go and I would jockey that lane, keeping an eye out solely for semis, because I knew that there would be a gap from the car in front of the semi and the semi. And I took advantage of that gap. And sometimes I squeaked in just right before the actual exit happened. Like, this is your last opportunity to get in this lane. And sometimes it was, 300 feet back, but I was never a mile and a half back waiting. So I would sneak in at an accelerated speed into that gap, and then I would brake quick because I had to, right? Because the car in front of me was literally at a snail's pace. And I thought, oh, good, I'm not in that long line. And I look at it now and go, I was so effing stupid. Like, when you take that gap from that truck driver, you're asking to be rear-ended. Truck drivers need that space. We need that space. Number two, and I'm talking about these things because I used to do them, and now four-wheelers do them to me, and I see the issues. Number two is when it's inclement weather, you stick close to a semi. And sometimes that means like right behind us, right? Because we'll plow the track through the snow, or whatever it may be. Well, that is so stupid. When a trailer starts to walk, and that is a term that means your tractor's here and your trailer starts to move away out of your line driving, that's a problem for truck drivers, and we have to recapture that before it gets way out of hand and jackknifes. Well, if you're riding really close to us, guess what? You become collateral damage on what would be an isolated jackknife. But because you follow us so damn closely, you become party to this accident. Stop it. Stop it. Number 3. We've seen the public service announcements. We've seen the billboards. We've seen the digital signs put out by DOTs of various states. But yet we continue to text and drive. And what boggles my mind is that you're next to me on the interstate and you are texting and driving while you are in my hip. One small veer into my lane and you, my friend, are done for. Because I may not be able to veer away from you so that I do not hit you. Like, stop texting and driving. It's just it's the simplest thing you can do. Right? It's the simplest thing you can do. Just stop it. Now this next one, I never did. But I see it all the time. And I just don't even know why it happens. And that is, you're doing sexual gestures, activities while driving for or to a semi-truck. So if you're masturbating or showing your boobs or whatever it may be, like, really? I don't want to see that shit. Who does? Well, maybe there are people that do, but just stop. Just stop the insanity. The next thing is, stop complaining about us. And that's in terms of how we go so slow, or how we take up the road, or blah, blah, blah. Look, a lot of our trucks are governed, so we can only go so fast. 2, if we're loaded, it takes us longer to get started, to stop. The hills will drag us down. Now, if you think that we love going slow because we have scheduled appointment times, then you got it all wrong. So I just chuckle when I hear four-wheelers talk about how we go so slow. Yeah, a lot of that's forced upon us because of the weight that we're carrying, the terrain, and even the trucks themselves. The next thing is, I saw this on a billboard, and it's very true. The original instant messaging was blinkers. If you think about it, it's kind of funny. But I signal in advance where I need to go. Yet, the lineup of, I don't know, 6 to 10 to you name it, cars will stick to each other like glue so that I can't get in. It's a bad move. Because I gotta get over. So I'm either going to play the patient game for a minute and allow you to get, ahead of me so you're not behind the slow truck, But at some point, I'm going to make my move. Slowly, but I'm going to veer into that lane and do some offensive and defensive driving. But usually what you're missing, the point is, truck drivers use CB radios and they communicate with each other. So if there's an accident or delay or something like that, the truck drivers usually know which lane to be in. Just saying. Just saying. You may want to learn a little bit from a truck driver versus playing Sink My Battleship. Four-wheelers are not nice to truck drivers in manners of being on the road. So that's my take on it, with being a former four-wheeler driver and putting some truck drivers through some shit. And now that I am that truck driver, I see the error in my ways. So this is a message to you four-wheelers. You gotta see the other side of things. Because this truck driving side, we can be carrying up to 80,000 pounds. We're a moving missile, projectile, you name it. We can't stop on a dime. Ever. So keep that in mind when you want to play games. Our intent is to get to our destination safely, on time, and without injury to property or people. So just, you know, just honor that. Just honor that. All right.